Welcome to a very excited David Britton. As you can see behind us, we have a bit of 17th century flair. This property was built in 1726. It is absolutely beautiful. And this is the kind of dream house that I think many of us aspire to have. We've got that kind of Georgian look. Inside there are high ceilings. We're in a beautiful, we're set in beautiful gardens with a fantastic driveway, but we're right in the centre of Caldbeck in the Lake District National Park. The property behind us has been used for a commercial capacity over the last 30 years, but as you can probably appreciate, for the last 300 has been a significant family dwelling and nestled right within the heart of this beautiful village. Now, if you haven't been to Caldbeck, Caldbeck is really worth a visit. I've just had a lovely cup of coffee at the local pub across the road. There are various shops and other bits, and it's quite a tourist mecca. The one thing that's very important with this is that all the way round the front elevation here, we have a walled garden. So that means that you have got a lot of privacy, but equally you're right in the heart of the village with every amenity around you that you could need. So let's get on to this. This property doesn't have one bedroom, it has 20 rooms. It was previously a care home and it's got 20 rooms with 20 en suites. And that's a lot. If we were looking at this from a commercial capacity, I could imagine this would be a great boutique hotel. There is an opportunity to knock rooms together to be able to make them a bit more spacious. There is a live-work environment potential where, subject to planning, you could look at maybe offices or something to the back whilst making an application to be able to live in the house residentially. You have got every bit of parking you could ever need. So if this was where you required your business to be, whether it be a boutique hotel, maybe a restaurant, maybe something that fits within the hospitality industry, you have everything that you could possibly need. The luxurious look, the access to it, and also that proximity, being dead in the centre of a Lake District National Park village, is ideally positioned. Now inside there is some light modernisation that will need to be done, and it will just depend on what you would like to use it for. Now, if you were looking at this as a residential property, my advice would be that you would have to speak to the Lake District National Park Authority to be able to see whether or not they would consider a change of use from the commercial use that it's currently got through to a residential use. This is going to be a long video, so I hope you brace yourself. I'm going to turn around, give you a bit of a walk around the plot, show you inside the building, and hopefully it's something that you like. Okay, so here we are. This is the front view of the property. It's absolutely stunning. There's not a huge amount of garden space to the rear, just a really large courtyard, which I'll show you properly in a moment. I'll just show you a bit of the street scene, because I mean the street scene here is absolutely stunning. There's a local pub here, village store over here, I think a post office. There's another, looks like a gift shop or something there. There's all the way through the village, there are some really lovely elements which make here in the centre of the, or just on the outskirts of the national park, I should say, a really lovely place to live. And I think there's quite a large, thriving community as well. So we'll start at this point and, well, what do you say about that? It's not too shabby. We'll go around the house now. Because it's so big, I am going to glance into most rooms because a lot of them will be quite comparable to each other. And I'll show you exactly what you have got the potential to do. But as far as a house goes, it doesn't get a lot better than that. So we've got a very large storage shed there, which I'll gloss by because otherwise we'll be in here for about an hour. But the first thing that I noticed the second that I walk up to the house is this fantastic entrance hall and a very large doorway leading in. So the first thing you come into is this very spacious hallway with doors that direct you in all of the ground floor living accommodation directions. So we've got a nice fireplace as we come through into here, which would be a fantastic reception room, or if this was from a commercial capacity, maybe a meeting area or a comfy seating area, however you want to consider it. But it's a nice space with nice high ceilings. We have got some of the nuts and bolts of the building here, but we're going to come back to those in the end. And there's another wing down here and this rather fabulous staircase. But I think what we'll primarily do is walk around the ground floor and try and give you a sense of what it is. I'm actually going to put a floor plan to the place on as well, because it's so vast that it's very difficult to be able to get a gauge on exactly where we're walking around. But look at these two rather fantastic windows that look over the front. I mean, aren't they absolutely beautiful? Now, we've got some original features, maybe not quite as many as I would like, but they are of a period that they are quite easy to be able to be able to reclaim if you wanted to bring this back to its former glory. So coming away from that part of the living accommodation, we've got almost a conservatory walkway through area which then leads through to some of the bedrooms. And you'll then note that it was definitely a care home at one point. So this just gives an idea that there's a bedroom with an ensuite. Now this is a very, there's a running theme with quite a lot of the rooms being very similar. So we have another bedroom with an ensuite just around the corner. And another bedroom with another ensuite. Now, this part of the build was actually done by Latimer Homes quite some time ago, and it was built obviously to Latimer standards, so it's of a good quality. But all the rooms are of an okay size. There's no whoppers. And I was thinking maybe if this was a boutique hotel or something along those lines, that maybe merging some of the rooms together would be very suitable. I mean, equally, if you were looking at a more low-cost type of hotel accommodation, every room has an ensuite. They're all doubles and are in nice, light, bright rooms with plenty of window space. So there is actually quite a significant income. I think I did the workings out a minute ago, that if you were to have 36 weeks of the year, that you had 7 days occupancy at £70 a night per double room, that could end up bringing in before costs and other things come out, around about £300,000 to £350,000 a year, which is a massive amount of money considering the property is on the market for £1.5 million. Now, we've got, again, another room. Now, as I said, I'm not going to spend too long in each because they're very similar. And as such, I'm not going to be showing you anything that you haven't seen for the last 5 minutes. But every room has a loo, and there are 20 of them. So if I'll just show you the back end of the last room on this floor. And then there's one, so I should have turned the light on, one final bathroom. So that gets us started. Now let's go upstairs and look at the rest. So outside here is an outside courtyard area. If you were looking at this as a place to use for a hotel or a boutique hotel, or even for maybe slightly lower cost walking, then the great thing is because this was originally a care home, it's got hardwired fire alarm systems, it's got fire doors. With a generous lick of paint and a few alterations, this could easily become serviceable within quite a short space of time. So depending on what your aspirations are as to what you would like this to become, it is a heck of a lot of square footage, which already has a use that works very well. So let's think about the other things that it could potentially be. There's another bedroom. So let's think about the rear extension. Now, as it lays out, you've got fire exits. You're quite independent from the main house. Now, subject to the relevant planning consents, this could very easily be a fantastic work-live environment. So you've got, in the main house itself, you've got nice bedrooms. You'd knock out a few of these en suites and maybe make the bedrooms slightly grander. The main house itself could be converted back to being quite a lovely, substantial dwelling with some lovely bedroom space. There'll be a little bit of cost in that, but there aren't many of these, so it could be a very good opportunity. But it could, from a live-work perspective, mean that you've got that lovely Latimer's extension to make into your offices. Showing from an elevated position, you can clearly see we have an abundance of parking. So as such, having a live-work environment where your rear element is your office space, be it architectural work or something along those lines. I mean, even for my business, we could consider this as somewhere to live and work for an estate agency, because there's so many rooms there. From an office perspective, you can have quite a significant business working, but equally enjoying the benefits of not being too far away from where you work, as in directly next door. So there maybe is that consideration, and I think subject to the relevant planning consents, that could be something quite interesting and quite exciting for the person that wants to be working and living within the same area. And being in the centre of the national park, well, what a fantastic place to live, work and have fun. So on this top floor, this is the view out, which is rather pretty, over that rather lovely village. And as I said, if you don't know it, you should visit. It is a fantastic place and very well taken for tourism, but equally such a lovely place to live. We know many people that have now recently moved here, and as such, I can see it as a nice family destination too. Coming into that staircase that I mentioned earlier, look at this big sweeping staircase. Fantastic feature window at the end with that lovely arch in it. And we've got quite a bit of height up here, so it feels very grand indeed. So next part to show you, we're getting towards the end. It's like a maze, isn't it? I'm going to take you into this bottom section here, because we've got what was being used as a utility area for washing machines and so on and so forth. A little loo downstairs, and then up here, I think what would make a rather nice office, just somewhere tucked away with a window overlooking and outward towards the lovely village. Cool. So, and you think it can't get any bigger? Well, I can tell you this, it does. So I'm going to come back out now and go through into the kitchen. And as we walk into the kitchen, we've got a commercial kitchen, which is a decent size. We've got a rather nice larder space that's in here. So if you were looking at this from a potential as a small hotel, there is obviously commercial kitchen facilities and a nice other room with a door out. Now, this actually could become a self-contained holiday let or self-contained annex or whatever you felt was appropriate. Because up here, we have a lovely glazed window looking out again with a rather lovely bedroom and a full bathroom suite. So this is almost owner's accommodation. Fantastic. It's a nice space away from the rest of the house. If you don't want to have some of your best accommodation taken up, it does give you that chance to have something away from your guests if you just wanted to have a smaller accommodation and maximise the amount of return that you could get back from the property. So last, but by no means not least, we have a corridor that comes through. There's a little courtyard out there and I'll show you that momentarily. And we come down to another full bathroom, wet room type area, but it's quite a big space, so it can be reutilised as something else. We have a very echoey, but huge room here. So this would make a great, again, another great bedroom or maybe even a little function facility or something like that. And we have another family bathroom type shower room. And now I'm just going to take you to go and have a look, if I don't break the door first, outside in the courtyard area. So to the rear, as I said, it's not giant at all, but it's perfectly serviceable and very usable. So we have this little courtyard area. It's quite a sun trap actually, to be fair. And this little courtyard area here. And then the boundary of the property finishes where that fence line is here that would come along. So that then caps everything off, and you can see that that's the extension that was built to the rear, so it's in very good condition. Now, there's obviously not a vast amount of a garden to the rear, but the garden to the front is quite extensive, and it just depends. If you need acreage, not the house for you. But if you need a decent sized garden, or the potential for parking, or other things that will suit, then this could be perfect. So I think this is about 20 minutes long so far. I think the recap is, first of all, it is very, very difficult to be able to get the entire layout of this property, but hopefully I've given you a decent indication as to what it is. We have a spectacular looking building. It is grade 2 listed. It was built in 1726. It will be steeped in history, although I haven't researched it, but it's properly cool. And looking like this, you can see it's in good order. Internally, a bit of decorative order that needs to be resolved, but nothing outrageous. And you've got plenty of space out here. So relisting again, we've got a massive house, 20 bedrooms. It could be a live-work environment subject to the right planning consents. It could be a care home again. It depends on what somebody wants to do. It could be a work-live environment, taking advantage of the buildings to the rear and maybe considering for a office space. It could be a million different things, but that is all going to be at the discretion of the person that wishes to buy. Now, this property, there's a lot of it. We're right in the national park. It's coming on the market for £1.5 million, and for square footage, there is very little anywhere near here that's going to be anywhere close to that kind of figure. If you would like to know more, if you would like to chat this through, or even to consider a booking, please do give me a call on 01768 881111, and I would be delighted to be able to talk this through with you. Thank you.